back. Uh, the last part of the video that we'll see about conflicts. Conflicts need to resolve conflicts. So in the second part we saw in Maya's story, you read about how conflicts can often lead to violence and death. Conflicts, ladai ya chote chote jhagde, conflicts occurs when people of different cultures, religion, regions or economic backgrounds do not get along with each other, or when some among them feel they are being discriminated against. So people may use violent means to settle their differences. This leads to fear and tension among others living in an area. So the government is responsible for helping to resolve conflicts. Conflicts can be between anyone. It can be amongst two classmates or two siblings, I said before. Like you can have an argument or a fight for a piece of chocolate or something like that. So people sometimes use violent steps to settle down their differences, and this violences brings a fear and tension among those who live in and around the area, and the government plays an important role in helping resolve the conflicts. So type of conflicts in Indian society, in this chapter mainly two kinds of conflicts. The religious conflicts and the river water conflicts are discussed over here. So the Indian Constitution, which lays down the basic rules, or laws that have to be followed by everyone, and these laws are for both the government and the people. Conflicts and differences have to be resolved according to these laws. We'll read more about this in this part of the video. And religious conflicts, let's discuss a little bit on religious conflicts. Religious processions and celebrations sometimes lead to conflicts. For example, suppose a religious procession takes the route of another community locality, that someone may throw stones or try to dispute the procession. At times, there's the fear that violence may occur. So the government, especially the police, plays an important role in tackling such conflicts. They meet the representatives of the communities concerned and try to arrive and come to a solution, and the police is responsible for ensuring that violence does not take place. So this is a river water conflict. Sometimes rivers can also become a source of conflict between two states. So a river flows from one state to another. Therefore, sharing of river water between states become an issue of conflict. For example, we are just going to have a little discussion on the Kaveri water dispute between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, two states of India, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So a conflict arose between both Krishnasagar Dam, that is in Karnataka, and the Mettur Dam, that's in Tamil Nadu, are on the same river. And the Tamil Nadu dam can only be filled up if water is released by Karnataka. So it happened only for downstream and upstream location. Thus, neither of the two states, that is Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, gets enough water to meet their needs. So this led to conflicts. So the central government played a very significant role here in ensuring both the states to get fair distribution of water and no conflicts arose in the future. So equality and justice in a democratic type of government, equality and justice are two key elements, and these are inseparable. The practice of untouchability is now completely banned by the laws, and we all human beings, whether we belong to different community, the Hindus or the Muslims, we all are treated as one, no matter what background we come from. For the same laws are implied for each and everyone, whether it is Mukesh Ambani from the country or an ordinary person like me or like you, we all have to follow the same rules and the same law in if a person is living in the country called India. So in earlier times, this group of people were denied education, transport, or medical facilities and prohibited from entering into the temples. These Dalits and Achuts and Mahars, they were not allowed to come into a community or society. They were not allowed. They were not allowed to come into a temple, or they were not allowed to fetch water from the local village well. So we saw in the last chapter how Mr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and many others like him analyzed that such practices must be discontinued, and that justice can only be achieved when people are treated equally. So the government also identifies this and legislates special provisions for group within society that are unequal. So in our society, there's a tendency to value the boy child more than the girl child. But I think now this gender differences between a boy and girl, now it's completely finished. We all, whether it's a female child or a male child in the family, I think we all treat everyone as equal, and the girl child also today is given equal importance. So this means that the society does not value the girl and boy child equally. That is unjust. So in this environment, the government takes up steps to promote justice by providing special provisions that can enable girls to overcome the injustice that they are subjected to. Consequently, girls' fees in a school, government school or colleges, might be dropped or decreased. You see nowadays the Beti Bachao Andolan and so many schemes the governments are running, and they are providing lot of facilities for the girl child, especially in states like Rajasthan and Gujarat and so many other. So now the girl child is also an equal important part of the society, and I don't think so now we see the difference between a girl and a boy child. So that is all we discussed in this fourth chapter of civics, the key elements of democratic government, apartheid in South Africa, struggled against apartheid, and we learned something about the African National Congress leader Mr. Nelson Mandela, who fought for the rights of the Africans and participation of common people in government. In India, the government are elected for a period of 5 years, and if they want to continue to be in power, they have to be re-elected by the people. They have to work for it. So this is a moment when people can sense their power in a democracy. Then we saw something about other ways of participating and needs to resolve conflicts. We saw types of conflicts in Indian society: religious conflicts, river water conflicts, and the importance of equality and justice in an Indian society. So that's all we have in today's video. Thank you and stay blessed.